economic order quantity model assumes that demand is constant and known exactly. In practice, it can vary widely and unpredictably. When the variation is small, the EOQ model still gives useful results, but as the variation increases, its results get worse. You can see why this happens from the reorder level. An order is placed when stock falls to the reorder level, which is calculated as the average lead time demand. But when the actual demand in the lead time is above average stock, you run out before the next delivery arrives. By definition, demand is above average half the time, so this means that there are shortages in half of the stock cycles. Conversely, demand is below average half the time, so there will be new stock at the end of the other half of stock cycles. The shortages give most concerns, as field managers will be pleased by a system that only met the demands of their half of their customers. A way around this is to hold extra stock about the expected needs to add a margin of safety. Then organizations increase their holding costs by a small amount to avoid higher shortage costs. The safety stocks are used when the normal working stock runs out. They have no effect on the reorder quantity, which is still defined by the EOQ, but do affect the time when an order is placed as shown in this figure. In particular, the reorder level is raised by the amount of the safety stock to give reorder level, which is LD, plus the safety stock. Higher safety stock gives a greater cushion against unexpectedly high demand and reduced shortages, but they also increase holding costs. So the managers have to balance the cost of holding safety stock with the cost of shortages. Unfortunately, shortage costs are so difficult to find that they're usually little more than guesses. An alternative approach relies on manager judgment. To set a service level which measures the likelihood of the demand can be met from stock. And the organization typically gives a service level of 95%, which means that it meets 95% of orders from stock and assesses that 5% of orders cannot be met. The service level needs a positive decision by managers based on their experience, objectives, competition, and knowledge of customer expectations. There are really several ways of defining service level, but we will take it as the probability of not running out of stock within the stock cycle. This is cycle service level. Now suppose the demand for an item is normally distributed with a mean of D per unit time and standard deviation of sigma. When the lead time is constant at L, the lead time demand is normally distributed with mean of LD. Variance of sigma powered by 2 times L and standard deviation of sigma squared root of L. The size of the safety stock depends on the service level that managers set as shown in this figure. To be specific, when lead time demand is normally distributed, the safety stock is Z multiplied by sigma square root of L, where Z is the number of standard deviations away from the mean. Then we can use any statistical package or tables to find the probability of running out of stock with any specific safety stock. To give some examples, if Z is 1, this gives a stock out in 15.9% of stock cycles. If Z is 2, this gives out stock outs in 2.3% of stock cycles and so on. When demand varies widely, the standard deviation of lead time demand is high, and very high safety stocks are needed to give a service level anywhere close to 100%. Managers usually choose service levels that reflect the importance of each item, so very important items might have levels around 99%, while less important ones are 95% or even lower.